everybody, it's Allison. Welcome to my YouTube channel. We are going to have some fun today, just playing with Mr. Figgy Pudding, one of my favorite little characters from Spellbinders. And here is the card we're going to be making. It's a pretty simple card to make. I'm going to be sharing a few little die cutting tips and tricks here and there. But let's get started with the main product, and that is Mr. Figgy Pudding. Now, his name is actually Dancin Figgy Pudding, but I like calling him Mr. And he is just too cute. He is just my favorite. All right, I thought I was filming when I first started putting him together. So here I'm reenacting how I added some shading with brown ink to make him look a little cooked. And for the mittens and the boots, I used two colors and I made it look like there was a little cuff, and I'm showing you how I did that. At the bottom of the mitten and the top of the boot, there's kind of a little slit, and I just cut that slit off, and that's how I created these kind of two-toned boots and mittens. And now we can start assembling. And again, I apologize that I had started assembling him without realizing that my camera was off. But you can see I added his eyes and some little pink cheeks to his face. And now I'm putting together the scarf, which is so adorable. Now you could do several colors on the scarf. I'm just doing white and red. And when I start to figure out how I want the scarf on him, I'm kind of putting it not lopsided, but kind of at a cute little angle. And I want this piece to go underneath the main part. So I'm just going to grab some masking tape to hold that main part of the scarf in place. And then I can go ahead and glue this piece underneath. Just like so. And now I can go ahead and glue this one in place. And I love the cute little angle that I put it at. I just think it's cute. And he is coming together. Now the little frosting or the icing on top of him, I'm doubling up because I think it just looks better. It looks like there's more icing. It gives a little bit of dimension. And as soon as you add this to him, he really starts to come together, and he is just adorable. Now, these are the festive ornaments, and this is actually what inspired my card today. When I saw these come out last month, they reminded me of cake pops. Now, I make cake pops a lot. My younger son loves my cake pops. And so this was the idea that I started the card with. These were going to be cake pops. You'll see in a moment that I turn them into balloons. But so here are the balloon pieces and the little strings. And this is the set that I always use when I want to make balloons out of something, the color block balloons. I almost never use the actual balloons from this set. I just use these little bottom pieces and the strings to make balloons out of all sorts of fun things. So the reason I am making these into balloons is because they were just a little too big to be cake pops. Now here you see I'm coming in with a little bit of vintage photo ink to the bottom of those little, I don't know what you call those part of the balloons, the little tie, just to give it a little bit of shadow. And you can say on the cake pops or whatever, cake balloons, I had shaded the bottom of those as well. All right, now I'm going to stamp a sentiment. This initial one I had was just too small, so I'm grabbing this Season of Wonder Sentiments set that came out last month being September. Can you believe it's October? I cannot believe how fast time is flying. So anyway, I thought this bigger sentiment would look good on this card. This is a 5x7 card. So I am just putting this in my MISTI, and then I can take all my elements out once I know the position of my stamp. And I'm using anti-static powder because I am going to heat emboss this. So this is VersaMark Ink. And now I'm going to use white embossing powder. So I don't know why I always add 2 layers of powder, and raise your hand if you flick embossing powder off like this. It's kind of addicting once you start doing it. Now I have my heat tool behind my paper, so it was kind of hard to see. But I find that white embossing powder is smoother when you heat from underneath, but you can see how my paper warped. It's kind of hard to do it on camera, so I got a little too close with my heat. And because it's warped, I'm not going to start over. You know me, I'm not going to throw it out. I am adding some pretty wide Scor-Tape at the back of my panel. And then I'm going to add this heavy white cardstock to it. And that is going to flatten out that warping. Now I do this with panels that I have added a lot of water to. So like if I use shimmer powders or something like that, that's how I flatten out panels. And it works for when you warp it with heat embossing as well. Now to start adding Mr. Figgy pudding to my card, I am starting with the arms because, well, they need to go down first underneath him. And that arm on the right was the most important because that's where I'm going to attach the balloon strings. Now I am going to make Mr. Figgy pudding dance, so I don't have a large foam dot to put in the middle of there, in the middle of that hole. So I just doubled up some of my regular foam tape, and I cut it into a circle with my scissors. So here I'm just putting that down. And now I need to add foam tape to the rest of Mr. Figgy pudding's head. So again, I'm doubling up that foam tape and just adding it in certain places. Now you have to be careful where you add foam tape because you want the legs to swing fairly freely. So here I've added all my tape, and now I can add him to the card. And there you can see his legs dancing. All right, to add my cake pop balloons, I'm just gluing that first one down. And now I have to figure out how I'm going to do these strings. So for this string, I need to add this first before I add any of the other cake pop balloons. So I'm just gluing it at the top and not worrying about the bottom right now. Now this second string, I'm going to again come in with some of this purple masking tape to hold the strings in place at the bottom. And, just add glue at the top. And so this second cake balloon, I'm adding thin foam squares because it's straddling that other cake ball. And now this third string, I actually forgot to glue the top of this third one down, but I'm coming in with this masking tape to hold everything in place. And now this third cake ball, I'm adding a little bit thicker foam dots because those are, it's straddling that second one. Now here I realize that I forgot to glue this string down. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue at the end and tuck it back up there. Now there's no way for me to actually push down. So I'm extending my craft pick and trying to get up in there to press down on that string to make sure it's going to be secured to the card base. And now we are ready to add some leaves and berries. Now this little piece here, this red piece, I think that actually comes with the cake balls, which I keep calling them cake balls. They're actually from that Festive Ornaments set. So I think that piece was actually from there, but that's okay. I'm adding these larger berries from Mr. Figgy pudding set. And now I'm adding this tiny little sliver of thin foam square to add my third berry because it's kind of straddling the other two. And now I'm going to go ahead and add the leaves and berries from the Festive Ornaments set. And I will add these to all three of these little cake pop balloons, balls. I can't decide what I want to call them, so. All right, now this is the Holiday Express. This is maybe a couple years old, and I was just looking for any set that had a bow. I think this set might be retired now, but Spellbinders has so many sets with little bows like this. Now I am adding a little bit of glue to the back of these strings, just with a piece of paper. That's kind of a really easy way to add glue when you can't lift something all the way. And now that those are secured to the mitten, I can add these two pieces that create this bow. And I just thought it was a cute way of securing all of these strings to his hand. And so here we are. How cute is he? I can't. He's just too cute. All right, that was a quick video. I just really wanted to share this with you because he makes me smile. I hope that he brought a smile to your face today. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.